So today we will take periodontal regeneration. Now all of you know in periodontitis we see periodontal destruction. So there is destruction of the periodontal ligament fibers, loss of alveolar bone, and exposure of the cementum to the oral cavity. So along with this there is attachment loss, which may lead to either pocket formation or gingival recession or both. Now how will you treat this periodontitis condition? So we go for periodontal therapy. Now periodontal therapy can be non-surgical periodontal therapy or surgical periodontal therapy. Randall difference in the non-surgical periodontal therapy and surgical periodontal therapy. Non-surgical periodontal therapy basically composed of either procedures.
Scaling.
Yes, scaling and root planning. Okay, phase 1 therapy basically. Patient education, motivation, scaling and surgical periodontal therapy is phase 2 therapy. Okay, so periodontitis treatment, we have to go for some sort of periodontal therapy, which can be non-surgical or surgical periodontal therapy. Now various terminologies, there is periodontal regeneration. So what is periodontal regeneration? It is basically healing which occur after periodontal therapy through reconstitution of a new periodontium, which involves formation of alveolar bone, functionally aligned periodontal ligament fibers, and new cement. So this should be the ideal goal of the periodontal therapy. Okay. Clear on periodontal regeneration. So all the structures which are lost. So which are the structures which are lost in periodontitis? The periodontal ligament fibers are lost, then alveolar bone and cementum is exposed and contaminated. So all these structures should be reconstituted. So in periodontal regeneration, basically is reconstitution of all these lost structures. So in periodontal therapy or surgical periodontal therapy, the basic ideal outcome should be periodontal regeneration. Next term is new attachment. Now new attachment la chari confusion varam karana pala book la pala definition thannittund. So rendu definition parayam. First is the better first one. So new attachment is the embedding of the new periodontal ligament fibers into the new cementum and the attachment of gingival epithelium to the tooth surface previously denuded by disease. Okay. So formation of new cementum with functionally aligned new periodontal ligament fibers. These under structures form cheyidittundengi, we can call it new attachment. Clear or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wherever definition parayanundu. So repair due to healing by replacement with epithelial and or connective tissue that matures into various non-functional types of scar tissue. First one are better. First one. New periodontal ligament fibers with new cementum. Okay, so that is known as new attachment. Clear or no? So regeneration, all the structures which are lost is reconstituted. Cementum, periodontal ligament, alveolar bone. New attachment anangi cementum, new cementum plus functionally aligned periodontal ligament fibers. Okay. Now, epithelial adaptation or long junctional epithelium. So most commonly periodontal therapy reparative process. Most commonly found type of repair is epithelial adaptation. That means close adaptation of the gingival epithelium to the tooth surface without complete obliteration of the pocket. Okay, so instead of formation of cementum periodontal ligament fibers, the epithelial cells migrate from the gingival epithelium and forms the long junctional epithelium. Basically, it is only the junctional epithelium which is elongated. Clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Another term is reattachment. Reattachment is formation of fibrous attachment to a root surface surgically or mechanically deprived of its periodontal ligament tissues. Any surgical so previously we have seen the attachment loss was due to periodontitis. So attachment loss can also be created by surgical means or mechanical means. Suppose avulsed tooth it is mechanical means. Tooth avulsed socket the form of attachment which occur is known as reattachment. Okay. Clear or not? So periodontal regeneration, new attachment, long junctional epithelium or epithelial readaptation and reattachment. These four terms are there. Now all the possible outcomes of periodontal therapy. There may be new attachment with periodontal regeneration, which should be the outcome. Or there may be repair process, repair. So ideally, lost periodontal reconstitute it is known as repair. The repair can be by healing with long junctional epithelium, also known as epithelial adaptation. Or it may be connective tissue adhesion without root resorption. Then ankylosis and root resorption. Or the periodontal therapy may fail and there may be recurrence of pocket or gingival recession. Okay, so this process, which what will be the outcome of periodontal therapy is basically determined by which type of cells populate the defect site. The defect site is populated by gingival epithelium. Any type repair down. So the surgical defect site can be populated by either by epithelial cells, connective tissue cells, bone cells, or periodontal ligament, pluripotent periodontal ligament cells. Epithelial cells defect site proliferate either type adaptation on down. So here diagram you can see the defect site. So after periodontal therapy, the defect site can be populated by the epithelial cells.
Epithelial cells.
So if it's populate the surgical defect site, either type healing on down them. And so here we can see healing by formation of long junctional epithelium. Okay. So this was the initial junctional epithelium. So here you can see the site has healed by formation of
long junctional epithelium.
Long junctional epithelium. This happens when the defect site is populated by the epithelial.
Epithelial.
Okay. Second, the site can be populated by connective tissue cells, fibroblast. Okay. Healing will occur by connective tissue adhesion. We can see the connective tissue adhering to the cementum surface. But there is no functionally aligned periodontal ligament fibers. Periodontal ligament fibers form itilla. Cementum form itilla. Okay. This type is healing is connective tissue adhesion. Possibility is bone cells में osteoblast में operate defect site. So then the healing which occur is known as ankylosis. Okay, so bone will directly fuse with the cementum or dentine. So these ankylosed regions are very prone to root resorption also. Ideally in the we want the defect site to be populated by pluripotent cells from the periodontal ligament. So when this occurs, these pluripotent cells, they can differentiate into different types of cells. So in regeneration, we are not going for a particular type of tissue. So multiple tissues has to be reconstituted. Other different. Cementum is formed by which type of cells? We need cementoblast.
Cementoblast.
Regeneration of the periodontal ligament fibers, we need fibroblast. For alveolar bone, we need osteoblast. So these pluripotent cells from the periodontal ligament fibers can differentiate into these different types of cells. Okay. So fourth, in the periodontal ligament pluripotent cells, if it populate the defect site, then we can see formation of new cementum with functionally attached periodontal ligament fibers and formation of new bone. Okay. So this should be the outcome. This should be the ideal outcome. Here, there is, you can see pocket formation, presence of calculus in the subgingival region. Then we can see a vertical bony defect. B is during surgical treatment. So we have managed to remove the calculus, subgingival calculus and plaque. We have done scaling and root planning or root debridement. Okay, so we have done root debridement. We have removed the infected sulcular epithelium. C and D are after healing. So C and D are outcome of the periodontotherapy. What has happened in C? Either type healing undited. In C,
bone formation,
New attachment.
so here we can see the previously the cementum was exposed, contaminated. So now we can see formation of new cementum. We can also see the periodontal ligament fibers which are attached to the new cementum. Also there is formation of
Bone.
Alveolar bone. So all the three parts of the also there is attachment gain. Attachment loss പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. So that is known as attachment gain. So this is
New attachment.
new attachment or periodontal regeneration. Also bone is also formed. So we can call it periodontal, new attachment with periodontal regeneration. Okay. Deal എന്താ സംഭവിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്? There is formation of alveolar bone. Bone form ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട് പക്ഷെ there is no
Medial.
Medial
fibers form ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല, new cementum form ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല. But the junctional epithelium has extended apically. It has become the known as
Long junctional.
long junctional epithelium, epithelial adaptation. Okay, so most commonly ഇതായിരിക്കും കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നത്, D ആയിരിക്കും കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നത് പെഡോണ്ടൽ തെറപ്പി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട്. Okay. Now evaluation of new attachment. So periodontal regeneration for a research non subject. So new materials are constantly being researched and so either effective or not. So we can do animal studies in a clinical trials. Okay, particular regenerative material is effective or not. First we have to do animal trials. Then if it's safe, then we go for clinical trials. For new attachment ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ടോ ഇല്ലയോ എന്ന് എങ്ങനെ അറിയാൻ പറ്റും? There are 4 methods. First method is the histological method. Second is the clinical methods. Third is radiographic methods. And fourth is surgical re-entry. So histological method എന്താ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? So graft regenerative technique ചെയ്തു കഴിഞ്ഞ് after 6 months we have to remove the tooth along with the surrounding bone completely and make histological sections. Okay. So microscope നോക്കുമ്പോൾ we can accurately see whether there is formation of new cementum, periodontal ligament fibers and alveolar bone. So this should be the best technique. Isn't a disadvantage in them? So histologically correct അറിയാൻ പറ്റും, regeneration ആയിട്ടുണ്ടോ ഇല്ലയോ എന്ന് അറിയാൻ പറ്റും. So major disadvantage in the we can do only in animal models. Okay, humans because of ethical reasons we cannot do it. So in this histological method, reference notches place ചെയ്യണം. So this reference notches can be placed at the base of the bony defects or at the apical extent of the calculus deposits. Notch ന്റെ എന്താ significance എന്താ? Place a notch apical to the calculus deposit or at the base of the bony defects. So this is basically a reference. After 6 months, if you see the histological specimen, so notch was previously exposed to the oral cavity, it was not covered with the periodontium. The notch is covered by the newly formed cementum or periodontal ligament fibers, alveolar bone. Then we can say that there is periodontal regeneration. Okay, so we should place a reference notch. So periodontal regeneration is considered to have occurred when a newly formed functionally aligned periodontium is coronal to the apical extent of the notches. So this is a histological section. Showing formation of new cement. NC is new cement, then periodontal ligament fibers, PDL, and NB is new bone. So here is the notch. Now the notch is covered by this newly formed tissues. So we can say that periodontal new attachment has happened, periodontal regeneration has happened. Okay. So major disadvantage, histological method cannot be used in human studies because of ethical issues. Then clinical methods. So clinical methods, basically you do periodontal charting before starting the periodontal therapy. Pendake measurement clinically, which can be useful for assessing periodontal regeneration. Either can the clinical charting chamber.
Attachment loss, pocket depth.
Yeah, probing pocket depth under attachment loss under. Okay. In the bone level, bone level by transgingival probing. Okay. Either better, attachment loss on a better, probing pocket depth on a better, regeneration assessment.
Attachment loss.
Yes, attachment loss a better. Okay. Probing pocket depth reliable alla. Attachment loss on it definitely indicative. It's maybe some attachment gain has happened, or maybe some new attachment or periodontal regeneration has happened. The attachment level gain undangi, we can maybe some new attachment or regeneration has happened. If there is no attachment gain, definitely we can say that there is no regeneration or attachment gain. Now, clinical method use periodontal probe use disadvantages. So one of the disadvantages, we cannot control unless the pressure sensitive probe use definitely there is a problem of over penetration. Inflamed tissues for same amount of force in the inflamed tissue, the periodontal probe may extend more apically than non-inflamed tissue. Okay. So this is left side there is the inflamed tissue. So you can see the loss of transgingival fibers or gingival fibers. So when we insert the periodontal probe, it may penetrate more apically. Okay, so inflamed anangi kudala penetrating probe. Healthy anangi gingiva or non-inflamed gingiva anangi, because of the fiber presence of the gingival fibers, there is less penetration of the periodontal probe. Variability unde. Okay, so there is a disadvantage. The probe you see we can also do bone probing or bone sounding. So this is done after giving local anesthesia. Then the periodontal probe is inserted and we try to assess the bone height. Okay, and also try to assess the morphology of the underlying bone. So probe use we have to standardize the procedure. Means what? In the insert each time we have to insert in the same angulation at the same place. Otherwise, a different measurement are given. For single type probing, which regeneration assess ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. You have to do it multiple times. So before surgery, at least once we have to do. Then after surgery, 6 months after minimum 6 months after surgery, we have to do it again. So angulation, probe angulation or site of insertion standardize ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ലെങ്കിൽ we may get different measurements. Okay. So എങ്ങനെ standardize ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും? Angulation of insertion of the periodontal probe and the site of insertion. We can standardize it by using a acrylic stent. So this is the use of a periodontal probe. So assess the attachment loss. So you can see here occlusally in the acrylic plate on. So this it is having some grooves. So because of this groove, each time when we place the periodontal probe, it will be only in the particular angulation and will be insert in the same position each time. So this is known as acrylic stent or surgical stent. Okay, so probe use symbol, this is important, use of a acrylic stent for standardization of the procedure. Clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next method is a radiographic method. Okay, use of radio, ഏതൊക്കെ radiographs are used in a period?
IOPs,
IOPR, OPG,
bite wing.
Yeah.
bite.
So IUPA most commonly, പിന്നെ OPG use ചെയ്യാം. The bite wing also you can use. Again, radiograph also use ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ particular regeneration ഒക്കെ assess ചെയ്യാനാണെങ്കിൽ we have to use standardized technique use ചെയ്യണം. So beam correct aligned ആയിരിക്കണം. Also has to be standardized and reproducible. So next time 6 months കഴിഞ്ഞ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ radiograph എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ same position വേണം X-ray beam reproduce ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റണം. Also position of the film should be reproducible. So if the film the position slightly മാറി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ തന്നെ we won't be able to compare the pre and post. Pre and post compare ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. So requires careful standardized technique for reproducible positioning of the film and the X-ray tube. Disadvantages എന്തൊക്കെയാ റേഡിയോഗ്രാഫിന്?
Reproduce ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല.
One reproducibility difficult. So there may be elongation, shortening of the X-ray, also standardization X-ray beam standardized allengi, angulation standardized allengi. There may be we cannot compare. In a variant the disadvantage.
Soft tissue levels അറിയാൻ പറ്റില്ല.
Okay, soft tissue levels അറിയാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. But regeneration soft tissue. Okay, periodontal ligament cement, new cementum form ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടെന്ന് അറിയാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. Only we see alveolar bone. But the cementum and periodontal ligament അത്ര നമുക്ക് അറിയാൻ പറ്റും. Cement ആയതാലും അറിയാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. Periodontal ligament also we cannot definitely say new periodontal ligament has formed. We can definitely see whether there is some bone fill or not. So another is we can only see the interdental region. Buccal and lingual defects aanengi we cannot see in the radiographs. Only the interdental defects we may able to somewhat assess. So iduപോലെ assess this is a pre and post. So pre le കുറച്ച് angular defects this angular defect. Postal, this angular defect has been filled. And also you can use the grids. So second radiograph, we can see grid. So amount of bone fill we can assess. So radiograph in the kuda, there is a metal grid in the kuda radiograph at the how much bone fill has happened. Also we can volume of bone fill also we can somehow assess. The fourth technique is surgical re-entry. Surgical re-entry in the chain 6 months after periodontal surgery, we open the region for a second time. Okay, so again take the measurement using periodontal probe and surgical acrylic stent. So advantage and that we can directly view the bone crest, which can be compared with the view taken during the initial surgery. Disadvantage and the disadvantage of surgical re-entry.
Invasive one.
Yes, invasive. First time okay, because we are anyway we have to elevate the flap. So flap elevate the measurement. Second time it is unnecessary or causes discomfort to the patient. Unnecessary procedure. Second time we want to just see whether there is regeneration or not. So basically we are doing a unnecessary second procedure. Also, type of attachment we cannot determine accurately. The histological method definitely we can see new cementum and periodontal ligament fibers. Surgical re-entry definitely we only see the bone. We cannot see the periodontal ligament and cementum. Clear or not?
Yes,
So here we can see pre and post. This is a during surgery. So we have we can take the measurement. The second is after B is after 6 months. So again we can take the measurement. So this is surgical re-entry. So ideal method no illa. Every method has some advantages and disadvantages. Now coming to regenerative surgical techniques. Basically 3 techniques are there by which we can do periodontal regeneration. First is non-graft associated new attachment. Second is graft associated new attachment. Third is biological mediator associated new attachment. By graft here we mean in the either type graft soft tissue graft or hard tissue graft. Bone graft.
Heart tissue.
Yeah.
Bone
Hard
graft.
Tissue graft.
soft tissue graft alla uddeshikkunnu. Hard tissue bone graft. So hard tissue bone graft illatha procedure endha parayna non graft associated new attachment procedure. Bone graft and kuda use bone graft use in procedures, it is known as graft associated new attachment procedure. In a biological mediators use here new attachment. So moon technique under also we can use combination. The non-graft and the graft and combine use here. Also biological mediators combine use here. So combined techniques we can also use. Now coming to the first non-graft associated new attachment techniques. So in this basically 5 techniques: guided tissue regeneration, laser assisted new attachment procedure or LANAP, biomodification of the root surfaces. So these three are currently used. 4 and 5 are of historical value. Now they are not used. That includes removal of the junction and pocket epithelium and prevention of epithelial migration into the healing area after therapy. So first is of non-graft associated new attachment technique is guided tissue regeneration. Now, guided tissue regeneration is based on the assumption that only the periodontal ligament cells have the potential for regeneration of the whole periodontium. So we have earlier seen that there is presence of pluripotent cells in the periodontal ligament. So these cells can differentiate into different types of periodontal cells like cementoblast or fibroblast or osteoblast. So these cells we want in the surgical side. Now GTR process involves placement of barriers to cover the bone and periodontal ligament, temporarily separating them from the gingival epithelium and connective tissue. Okay, so we have to exclude the cells, epithelial cells exclude when the connective tissue cells exclude when the bone, osteoblast bone cells exclude. We only want the site to be populated by periodontal ligament cells. So we can do this by placement of some barrier to cover the bone and periodontal ligament. Now the GTR technique also involves space creation for proper clot stabilization and wound protection. So in initial healing phase, in the there is clot formation. Then there is the healing of the surgical site. So this clot has to be stable. If flap collapse, the space may be lost or clot may be lost. The healing proper right on the. So another feature of GTR is space creation. Now GTR process can be combined with bone grafts. Okay, non-graft associated can be combined with graft associated regeneration technique. Clear or no? So GTR technique, we use some barrier. So this barrier can be non-resorbable or resorbable. Non-resorbable barrier includes polytetrafluoroethylene, PTFE, then expanded polytetrafluoroethylene, EPTFE, or titanium reinforced EPTFE. Resorbable membrane includes polyglycoside synthetic polymers. Example are polylactic acid, then polylactate, polygalactate copolymers, then collagen membrane and calcium sulfate. Clear or not? So 3 types of non-resorbable membrane are currently used and 3 types of resorbable membranes are currently used. Non-resorbable means in the so membrane place during surgery we place the membrane. So that membrane won't be resorbed automatically. So no resorption happens. So in the chain time, after 6 weeks, the healing has, we have to do a second surgery to remove the membrane. Okay, resorbable anangi. After some time, the membrane automatically resorbs into the body. Second surgery avashyam iruttilla. Today in clinical practice, most GTR procedures use biodegradable membranes. Non-resorbable membranes, especially those with titanium reinforcement struts, are used for regeneration of large intrabony defects and implant site development. So, kodal use cheyana for perio procedure na kodal use cheyana resorbable membranes. Non-resorbable membranes only some selected situations like very large intrabony defects or implant site development cheyanangi matram non-resorbable membrane like expanded polytetrafluoroethylene titanium reinforced, that is commonly used for very large intrabony defects or implant site development. Now, non-resorbable membrane, the first commercially available membrane was expanded polytetrafluoroethylene. This membrane has all the necessary property for GTR membrane, like it is a cellular barrier. So first criteria and the basically rationale and we want to exclude the epithelial cell, connective tissue cells and the bone cells. So we have to should be a good cellular barrier. So this type of membranes are very good cellular barriers. Second is they are biocompatible. Because of the stiffness, they provide space for the healing tissues. Also provide some tissue integration, and clinically they are quite manageable. Means in the correct adaptation between the tissue site. So adaptation is very important by using the membranes. So properly adapted, there may be gaps from which the epithelial cells or connective tissue cells may populate into the surgical site, which we don't want to happen. Now, technique for using non-resorbable membrane. First, we have to raise the periodontal flap. Then site, we have to do root debridement, scaling and root planning. Removal of granulation tissues. Now, the membrane is trimmed to adapt the tooth configuration, secured by EPTFE sutures, and flap is repositioned. Properly adapted, trim cheyidittu properly adapted suture vechi secure cheyam, and flap is repositioned and sutured. So healing is allowed to happen for 4 to 6 weeks. Second surgery is performed to remove the membrane after 4 to 6 weeks. During removal, the healing tissue usually appear reddish and granulomatous. After membrane removal, area should not be probed for 3 months. So why did we don't want to probe the region immediately? So complete healing pattern it will takes time. Pattern probe we may injure the site. Now the advent of titanium reinforced EPTFE allowed for formation of larger spaces, thus permitting correction of large defects. So PTFE, EPTFE alone use there may be chance of collapse of the membrane. Collapse the regeneration process will be affected. So collapse prevent available. There are now available titanium reinforced EPTFE. And one disadvantage of using non-resorbable membrane is exposure, membrane exposure during the healing process. So membrane immediately after surgery expose so it's a major problem. So site contaminate. We may have to remove the membrane altogether. Later stage marriage, we can ask the patient to use chlorhexidine mouthwash. So if there is no infection, we can manage the case. Early expose so that is a problem. There is a problem of infection of the site. സർജറി ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ we have to obtain proper closure of the periodontal flap. Membrane place ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് the flap while closing it should completely cover the membrane. അപ്പോൾ അത് കെയർ ചെയ്യാൻ എടുക്കണം. After placing of membrane, the flap should be correctly sutured so that there is no gap. The membrane should be completely covered by the periodontal flap. So here you can see there is a large defect. You can see whole of the distal root is exposed. So distally there is a large defect. Also the furcation region there is a furcation involvement. So bone loss has happened also in the furcation region. Almost the whole distal root is exposed. So first we have they have placed the bone graft. Okay. DFDBA place, demineralized freeze dried bone allograft. Bone graft place either. Over the bone graft, they have placed membrane, non-resorbable membrane. Here the which membrane is used? Expanded polytetrafluoroethylene with which is titanium reinforced. So titanium struts കാണാൻ പറ്റില്ല. Okay. So this is titanium reinforced EPTFE. Okay. So this because of this titanium reinforcement, collapse of the membrane is prevented. So large defects periodontal defect, or if you want to go implant site development like a E-type membrane are using titanium reinforced EPTFE. Place we suture the region. You have to completely cover this membrane. Okay. So it's a combination technique. We have used both the graft associated technique, also the non-graft associated GTR technique. So this is a combined technique. This is left side is the before surgery. You can see the bone loss, mean distal root and furcation region. After 6 months, you can see the bone fill. Okay. Now biodegradable membrane. Biodegradable the moon type parnello. First is a polyglycoside membranes. So these membranes resolve by degrading as a result of random non-enzymatic cleavage of the polymer to produce polylactide and polyglycolide, which are converted to lactic acid and pyruvate respectively and metabolized by enzymes of the Krebs cycle. Porcine collagen membranes are degraded by collagenases and subsequently by gelatinases and peptidase. The calcium sulfate is bioresorbed through a giant cell reaction. So all these are very biocompatible. So body tissue response is enough to resolve this type of membrane over time. Okay. The advantages of biodegradable membranes: they are more tissue compatible than non-resorbable membranes. The time of resorption can be regulated by the amount of cross linkage in the synthetic polymer and collagen membranes, or the amount of heat processed calcium sulfate chips in the calcium sulfate barriers. So etra samayam konda resorption sambhavikkum? Immediately we don't want the resorbable membrane to resorb immediately after surgery. Immediately you won't get the desired result. Late we don't want that also. Hmm? So optimal time. We want to resolve after 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Padike resolve by or 2 months maybe. So you'll also get the desired result. So timing can be regulated in case of resorbable membrane by various techniques. Major disadvantage or another major advantage of using the biodegradable membrane is we don't have to go for second surgical procedure. Unlike the non-resorbable membrane, we don't have to go for the second surgical procedure. The second type of non-graft procedure, new attachment procedure is LANAP. LANAP stands for laser assisted new attachment procedure. In this, ND-YAG laser or neodymium yttrium aluminum garnet lasers are used to do surgical LANAPs for management of chronic periodontitis and may lead to new attachment of periodontal regeneration. Basically, it involves selective removal of diseased or infected pocket epithelium. Okay, laser, basically we can call it laser curettage. Okay, curettage using laser. So that has also been reported to use in the treatment of chronic periodontitis. Clear or no? Okay. So next is biomodification of root surface. Now periodontal disease, we see that the root surface is exposed to the oral cavity. So because of this exposure, the cementum get contaminated. So root surface changes. We see degenerated remnants of sharp-based fibers, accumulation of bacteria and its products, disintegration of cementum and dentine. So all these changes will interfere with the new attachment regeneration procedure. Okay, but we can do biomodification of root surface. These changes like a reverse, we can use some chemicals. This process is known as biomodification of the root surfaces. So several substances have been proposed for the biomodification of root surface, includes citric acid, fibronectin, and tetracycline. Now, citric acid leads to formation of new cementum, accelerated healing. It demineralizes surface cementum, exposes collagen fibers, removes smear layer, eliminates endotoxins and bacteria, and prevents epithelial migration. The use of citric acid has also been recommended in conjunction with the coverage of denuded root using pre-gingival graft. Second is fibronectin. Fibronectin is glycoprotein that fibroblasts require to attach to the root surfaces. The addition of fibronectin to the root surface may produce new attachment. Okay, so fibroblast is chemical glycoprotein that is required by fibroblasts for attachment to the root surface. Fibronectin has to treat it, there will be more fibroblast attachment. There may be more chance of periodontal ligament attachment. Third chemical that has been used is the technique for use of citric acid. First, we have to raise the mucoperiosteal flap and thoroughly instrument the root surface, root debridement, do scaling and root planning. Okay. Then apply cotton pledges soaked in saturated solution of citric acid, pH of 1.0 for 2 to 5 minutes. Then remove the plaguettes and irrigate root surface profusely with water. Now replace the flap and suture. Third chemical which has been used in biomodification is tetracycline. Now, in vitro treatment of dentin surfaces with tetracycline increases binding of fibronectin, which in turn stimulates fibroblast attachment and growth while suppressing epithelial cell attachment and migration. Tetracycline also removes any amorphous surface smear layer and exposes the dentinous tubules. Tetracycline can be used as an adjunct procedure in preparation of root in regenerative procedure and is recommended step for use with biological mediators. Now next is removal of junctional and pocket epithelium. So this techniques are not currently used for periodontal regeneration. So junctional and pocket epithelium remove by ginger curettage or chemical curettage, accessional new attachment procedure. Then another technique which has been done before is preventing or impeding the epithelial migration. So one experiment they have done, they have removed the crown of the tooth and they have sutured the flap. So they have seen the regeneration. So that was only technique is root submergence. So this is basically practical alla. Crown remove cheyadayya. So practical just for experiment. This is known as root submergence. Then second technique that has been used is total removal of interdental papilla and replacement with free autogenous graft. So free autogenous graft place after some time, 2-3 days, the graft will become necrosed. So epithelial migration is impeded or prevented. Third, it may be a technique that has been used is use of coronally displaced flap. So the epithelial cells migrate from the edges, wound edges. So coronally flap displaced area, it has to travel a long distance to reach the defect site. So these techniques are not nowadays used. Either technique are used in non-graft associated new attachment techniques.
Graft associated new attachment technique.
Non-graft associated new attachment techniques. If you use a technique, say the
GTR, LANAP.
Yeah, GTR. First is GTR, very important. Second is
LANAP.
Laser new attachment procedure. Third is
Biomodification of
Biomodification.
root biomodification. So this is the technique nannayittu vaayikkanam. Baaki ella experimental illangi previously used, now not used. Okay. Total 5 techniques under 3 are very important. GTR, LANAP and root biomodification. Okay. Clear or no?
Yes, sir.
GTR principle മനസ്സിലായോ? GTR ആരെങ്കിലും പറയാം principle of using GTR technique or rationale for using GTR technique? Rational and which type of cells are we need in the defect site?
Pluripotent cells.
Pluripotent fibroblast cells.
Pluripotent cells. So these pluripotent cells can differentiate into all types.
Fibroblast, osteoblast, endoblast.
Fibroblast or osteoblast or cementoblast. Okay. So we want the pluripotent periodontal ligament cells. So we can obtain this pluripotent periodontal ligament cell only if we block the epithelial cells and connective tissue cells. So എങ്ങനെ ബ്ലോക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും?
Barriers use ചെയ്ത്.
We have to use
Barriers use.
some sort of barrier. So this
Barrier.
can be non-resolvable. ഏതൊക്കെയുണ്ട് non-resolvable barriers?
PTF, EPTF,
EPTFE reinforced with
EPTFE,
titanium.
Reinforced titanium reinforced.
Titanium reinforced EPTFE. പിന്നെ resorbable membrane ഏതൊക്കെ ടൈപ്പ് ഉണ്ട്?
polyglycoside,
Polyglycoside, copolymer. Okay, പിന്നെ
Collagen.
collagen,
collagen. മൂന്നാമത്തെ ഇത് ഈ രണ്ട്
Calcium sulfate.
കൊളാജനും പോളിഗ്ലൈക്കോസൈഡ്. മൂന്നാമത്തെ ഏതാ?
calcium,
Calcium sulfate.
കാൽഷ്യം സൾഫേറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഈ മൂന്ന് ടൈപ്പ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാം. ഇപ്പൊ കോമൺലി യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന റിസോൾവ് മെമ്പറൈൻ, പെഡോണൽ ഡിഫെക്ട്സ് ഒക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ റിസോൾവ് മെമ്പറൈൻ ആയിരിക്കും യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. നോൺ റിസോൾവ് മെമ്പറൈൻ മെയിൻലി യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ലാർജ് ഡിഫെക്ട്സ് ഒക്കെ ആണെങ്കിൽ, ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇംപ്ലാന്റ് സൈറ്റ് ഡെവലപ്മെന്റിൽ നോൺ റിസോൾവ് മെമ്പറൈൻ യൂസ് ചെയ്യും. ഓക്കെ, റൂട്ട് കണ്ടീഷനിങ് എങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും? ഏതൊക്കെ കെമിക്കൽസ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു?
Citric acid.
citric acid, fibronectin, and tetracycline.
Tetracycline.
Tetracycline, fibronectin, citric acid.
Citric
മൂന്ന്
acid.
കെമിക്കൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്യും. ബേസിക് റാഷണൽ എന്താ? റൂട്ട് ബയോമോഡിഫിക്കേഷൻ എന്തിനാ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? റാഷണൽ എന്താ? Why we do root?
Fibronectin helps in the attachment.
Fibronectin helps in the attachment of fibroblast. Okay, പിന്നെ
Fibroblast.
ഇപ്പൊ പെഡോണൽ ലിഗാമെന്റ് അറ്റാച്ച്മെന്റ് ആയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, so that is desirable. Pedoral ligament attachment is desirable. പിന്നെ വേറെ എന്താ?
Dead cement ഒക്കെ remove ചെയ്യും.
Contaminated cement decontamination ചെയ്യാൻ.
Decontamination ചെയ്യും.
So basically it is because the surface cementum has been contaminated by exposure to the oral cavity. So once the cementum get exposed to oral cavity because of periodontitis, that gets covered by subgingival plaque bacteria. So that bacteria releases the endotoxins, the surface layer is contaminated. Also it may be covered by a smear layer. Smear layer കൂടെ remove ചെയ്യാൻ ഒരു objective ഉണ്ട്. We want to remove the smear layer. Anagi the collagen, underlying the collagen fibers are exposed. So there is more chance of new cementum formation and attachment of the periodontal ligament fibers. Okay, so that is the basic rationale for doing root biomodification. Second technique is so for regeneration. ഏതൊക്കെ ടെക്നിക്സ് ഉണ്ട്? റീജനറേഷൻ, പെഡോണൽ റീജനറേഷൻ. മൂന്ന് ടെക്നിക്സ് ഏതൊക്കെയാ?
Non-graft,
Non-graft associated new attachment technique. Second is
graft,
associated new attachment technique.
Biological media associate.
Growth factors associated new attachment technique. Okay. So first we have discussed non-graft associated new attachment technique. Okay. So second is
graft associated.
associated new attachment techniques. So ഇതിൽ കുറെ terms ഉണ്ട്. Autografts. So what are autografts?
From the same
So bone graft which are obtained from the same
person.
ഏതാ പറ? സ്പീസീസ് ആണോ ഇൻഡിവിജ്വൽ ആണോ എന്താ?
Same individual.
Same person.
individual
Same
തന്നെ
person. Same personal തന്നെ എടുത്തിട്ട് പ്ലേസിൽ നിന്ന് എടുത്തിട്ട് അടുത്ത പ്ലേസ്.
Same person ആയിരിക്കണം. Autograft, graft is obtained from a
Same person.
so that is
Same
called autograft. Allograft എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എന്താണ്?
Species same.
Same species തന്നെ എടുക്കണം.
Species.
So same species but a different individual.
Individual.
Different individual, same species. So that is allograft. Xenograft എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എന്താ?
Different
ഡിഫറെന്റ്
species.
സ്പീഷീസ്.
Animal species തന്നെ എടുക്കണം.
Different species ആയിരിക്കും. Graft is obtained from a different species. ഒരു ടേമും ഉണ്ട് alloplast. Alloplast. Alloplast are synthetic materials used as graft material. Okay, synthetic materials used as graft material. They are known as alloplast. Okay. And another term is osteogenesis. Osteogenesis means and the
Formation of bone.
Bone
Formation of
formation.
bone.
the graft material contains live osteoblast, which produce the new bone. Okay. The graft material, either type material, material കാണും live cells, osteoblast. Live cells obtain ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ ആ സമയത്ത് തന്നെ obtain ചെയ്ത് place ചെയ്യണം. Okay. Graft has to be obtained at the same time as the time of surgery. എന്നാലേ നമുക്ക് ലൈവ് ഓസ്റ്റിയോബ്ലാസ്റ്റ് കിട്ടത്തുള്ളൂ. Basically autografts, they are all osteogenic. Okay, they contains live osteoblast. Then osteoinduction. Osteoinduction means in the
neighboring
Inducing osteogenesis.
osteoinductive materials contain certain chemicals which induce the surrounding cells to differentiate into osteoblast. Example, the osteoinductive material example is
Titan.
freeze-dried bone allograft. So that contains BMPs, bone morphogenic proteins. So that can induce the surrounding bone morphogenic proteins can induce the surrounding bone to form, surrounding cells to form osteoblast. So this process is known as osteoinduction. Third term is osteoconduction. Osteoconduction basically means the graft material only act as a scaffold. Scaffold കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? ഇപ്പൊ ന്യൂ ബിൽഡിംഗ് കൺസ്ട്രക്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എന്താ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? ബാങ്ക് വെച്ചിട്ട് സ്കാഫോൾഡ് ഉണ്ടാകും. So after construction complete, this bamboo scaffold is removed. Okay, bamboo ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ വുഡിന്റെ സ്കാഫോൾഡ് വെച്ചിട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഇത് കോൺക്രീറ്റ് ഒക്കെ അടിക്കുന്നു. Okay, so basically the graft material only act as a matrix or scaffold for the surrounding osteoblasts or blood vessels to penetrate. So this scaffold is replaced by the tissues. Okay, clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what are osteoblast?
Bone resorbing cell.
Oh, osteoblast. Hello, sorry, alloplast. What are alloplast?
Synthetic material used as graft.
Bone graft material. Synthetic bone graft material. What is osteogenesis?
Process of bone formation.
Bone formations by new by
Osteoblast.
By new osteoblast.
By new osteoblast alla.
living ആയിട്ടുള്ള bond
living osteoblast in the
osteoblast
graft.
bond formation ചെയ്യാനുള്ളത്.
So osteogenesis is basically formation of bone by cells, osteoblasts present in the graft material. Okay. So example is autograft ഒക്കെ കൂടുതലും osteogenic ആയിരിക്കും. Also some osteoinduction also with that because it contains the live osteoblast. Okay. Osteoinduction വെച്ചാൽ എന്താ?
Neighboring cells
cells നെ bond form ചെയ്യാൻ
bond form ചെയ്യാൻ induce ചെയ്യുന്നു.
induce ചെയ്യുന്നു.
Example ഏതാ osteoinduction?
Bone
bone morphogenic factors.
Bone morphogenic proteins, BMPs, present in the DFDBA, demineralized freeze-dried bone allograft. So that is osteoinductive. Osteoconduction വെച്ചാൽ എന്താ?
scaffold form ചെയ്തിട്ട്
Scaffold form for the bone formation.
So osteoconductive material bone cells കാണത്തില്ല. Also it doesn't contain osteoinductive chemicals. Only thing present is matrix മാത്രം, scaffold മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. So surrounding healthy tissue, it can invade, or osteoblast cells can invade into this scaffold and form new bone. Okay, this type of material is known as osteoconductive material. So കൂടുതലും graft material available is osteoconductive. Now coming to autografts, autografts can be obtained from intraoral sites or extraoral sites. Intraoral sites can be bone from the healing extraction wounds, trepine bone, new bone at artificially created wounds, osteoplasty and ostectomy. So if the bone obtained, we can graft it into the defect sites. Now autograft intraoral site in various techniques are there. First is osseous coagulum. Now it was described first by Robinson. He used a mixture of bone, dust and blood. Consists of small particles derived from the cortical bone. So bone is derived from the cortical plate. It is ground with the mixed with the blood. The graft material can be obtained from the lingual ridge of the mandible, exostosis, edentulous ridges, and bone distal to the terminal teeth. Basically, എന്താ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? Cortical plate, നമ്മൾ burr use ചെയ്തിട്ട് remove ചെയ്യും. So that comes mixed with the blood. It's known as osseous coagulum. This is then placed into the defect site. So a carbide burr number 6 or number 8 is used at the speed of 5,000 to 30,000 RPM, placed in a sterile dampened dish and used to fill the defect. Advantage in the more surface areas provided by small particle size. Also ease of obtaining bone from the area already exposed during surgery. Defect site and adjacent site in remove ചെയ്യാൻ പോകും. Exostosis ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് സൈഡിനെ റിമൂവ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് we can place in the defect site. Disadvantage എന്താ? We cannot use suction, aspiration use ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. Also quantity and quality of the bone fragment will not be standardized ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല. ചിലപ്പോൾ നല്ല ക്വാളിറ്റി കിട്ടും, ചിലപ്പോൾ നല്ല ക്വാളിറ്റി കിട്ടത്തില്ല. It is not a very standardized procedure. So here A we can see bony defects on the defect in relation with first premolar. So also there is exostosis on the എന്താ ചെയ്ത് ബർ യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് എക്സ്ട്രോസോസിസ് ആണ് റിമൂവ് ചെയ്ത് വി ഒബ്റ്റെയിൻ ദ ഓഷ്യസ് കോയാഗുലം in the appendage. The osseous coagulum is placed in the defect. Okay, when the defect is closed. So disadvantage in the osseous coagulum, disadvantage in the osseous coagulum. Disadvantage of osseous coagulum.
We cannot inability to aspirate.
Aspiration use ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റത്തില്ല പിന്നെ വേറെ
Unknown quality.
Standardization not possible.
Difficult. So this disadvantage can be overcome by use of bone blend. Bone blend technique എന്താ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? We use a autoclave plastic capsule and pestle. Bone is removed and titurated to a workable plastic-like mass and packed into the bony defect. Basically, amalgam prepare ചെയ്യാൻ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന amalgamator ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, അതില് അതുപോലത്തെ ടെക്നിക്കാണ്. Capsule and pestle are available. Graft remove ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഈ ക്യാപ്സ്യൂളിനകത്ത് ഇടും, പിന്നെ അത് ടൈറ്റുറേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ഒരു നല്ല നമുക്ക് വർക്കബിൾ പ്ലാസ്റ്റിക് ലൈക്ക് മാസ് കിട്ടും. സോ ദിസ് മാസ് ക്യാൻ ബി ഈസിലി വർക്കബിൾ ആയിരിക്കും, ഈസി ആയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് ഡിഫക്ട് സൈറ്റിൽ പ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യാം. Clear or no? So bone blend. Third technique is intraoral cancellous bone marrow transplants. Cancellous bone അറിയാവല്ലോ എന്താ? Cancellous bone.
Spongy bone.
So outer bone is known as
Cortical bone.
Cortical bone. Hard dense ആയിരിക്കും. അകത്തെ cancellous bone ആണ് പിന്നെ കുറച്ചും കൂടെ ഡെൻസിറ്റി കുറവായിരിക്കും, മസ്കുലാരിറ്റി കൂടുതൽ കാണും. സോ ബോൺ മാരോ ഒക്കെ പ്രസന്റ് ആയിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ, സോ റീജനറേഷൻ കൂടുതൽ കിട്ടുന്നത് നമുക്ക് ഏത് ടൈപ്സ് ബോണിലായിരിക്കും? കോർട്ടിക്കൽ ബോൺ ആണോ കാൻസലസ് ബോണിലായിരിക്കും? കാൻസലസ് ബോണിലായിരിക്കും കൂടുതൽ, കുറച്ചും കൂടെ കൂടുതൽ നമുക്ക് കിട്ടാൻ സാധ്യത ഉള്ളത്, കാരണം കൂടുതൽ സെൽസ് ആക്കി കൂടുതലുണ്ട്. So this can be obtained from maxillary tuberosity. Cancellous bone കൂടുതൽ size ചെയ്ത maxillary tuberosity, edentulous areas and healing sockets. After ridge incision is made distally from the last molar, bone is removed with a curved rongeur from the maxillary tuberosity. Edentulous ridges can be approached with a flap, and cancellous bone and marrow are removed with curettes, back action chisels or trephine. Also, extraction socket and other bone jam. So we can allow the extraction socket for heal for 8 to 12 weeks before re-entering and removing the newly formed bone from the apical portion, which is used as a donor material. Fourth technique is bone swaging. Bone swaging can be only be done if there is presence of edentulous site adjacent to the bony defect. Already commonly second molar, third molar remove ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ second molar distal, if suppose there is a bony defect, so അത് ട്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി we can use the bone swaging technique. അതിൽ എന്താ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? Bone is pushed into contact with the root surface without fracturing the bone at the base. Okay, the defective site in the adjacent edentulous space ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ we can use a chisel use ചെയ്തിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ഒരു fracture line produce ചെയ്യാം. Now we can push a portion of the alveolar bone and push it against the distal root surface. So this technique is known as bone swaging. Clear ആണോ? Then bone can be obtained from extraoral sites. The use of fresh or preserved ilia cancellous bone marrow has been extensively investigated. Potential complications of using extraoral site. Commonly either using ilia crest using. Disadvantage എന്തായിരിക്കും? ഒന്നാമത് patient discomfort ഉണ്ട്. Also, there may be some complication. Post-operative infection, bone exfoliation, sequestration, varying rate of healing, root resorption, rapid recurrence of the defect. Other problems includes increased patient expense and difficulty in procuring the donor material. Patient discomfort factor. Second, you have to obtain graft from a second site, extraoral site. So the heal chain time എടുക്കും. So it's part 1 of the periodontal regeneration. Second class le continue ചെയ്യാം. So second class le you can see allografts, alloplast, then growth factor associated new attachment techniques. Is it clear ayo?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Assessment is useful ano?
Yes, sir.
Useful കുറച്ചങ്ങനെ പഠിക്കാൻ വായിക്കാനൊക്കെ കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്യാൻ യൂസ്ഫുൾ ആണോ?
Sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ഒന്നും പറഞ്ഞില്ല മാമ.
So next ഞാൻ അസസ്മെന്റ് ഇടാം. MCQs MCQs മാത്രം കാണിച്ചു. MCQs
സർ ഈ ക്ലാസിന്റെ ഈ റെക്കോർഡിംഗ് ഗ്രൂപ്പിലൊന്നും ഇടോ സർ?
റെക്കോർഡിംഗ് ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഇടാം.
കുറെ പേർക്ക് കണക്ട് ആയിട്ടില്ല എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്.
PPT കൂടെ വേണമായിരുന്നു സർ.
PPTയും മറ്റേ റെക്കോർഡിംഗ് ഞാൻ ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഇടാം.
ഓക്കെ സർ.
പിന്നെ മറ്റേ അസസ്മെന്റ് ചെയ്ത് എല്ലാവരും ചെയ്യണം. ചില പേരൊന്നും സബ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല. അപ്പൊ അത് ഞാൻ അതില്ല ക്ലാസ് ഇടാം ലിങ്ക്. എപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ചെയ്യും? 10-15 MCQs ആണ്. Monday complete ചെയ്യാം.
Yes, sir.
Monday complete ചെയ്യാം. Tuesday അപ്പോൾ second class വെക്കും. Periodontal regeneration.
Yes, sir.
Monday ആവുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക്
Okay, sir.
part 1 assessment submit ചെയ്യാം. Tuesday second part. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.